And we're live.
We are fucking live. What's going on, everybody? This is the Rattle the Cage podcast. I'm Will, of course. My partner here. Introduce yourself.
Yo, it's Bert DeVito right here with something to say.
We're gonna rattle some cages today because this is basically a free-for-all. Right? We're just gonna talk about whatever the fuck has been rattling our cages, and hopefully it's rattled yours as well. We're about to find out. We've done some talking off air, and if you can't hear, my voice sounds a little fucked up. I have allergies, seasonal allergies. It happens every fucking year. I don't have the COVID, none of that shit, so throw all the conspiracies out the fucking window. And if I do have COVID, fuck it, I'm not afraid of it anyways. Whatever, I'm still not getting the shot, motherfucker. How you feel about that? Take your shot and shove it up your fucking ass.
Well,
But anyway, so we were talking off air about some things, and you mentioned, do you want to kick it off with that one right now? The speech, or?
Oh, okay. Alright, well, here we go. And
It's
I'm
up to
gonna
you.
try and do it in his accent, so don't hate me for it.
Well, give the reason behind it first. Like, why are you reciting the?
Alright.
First, tell everybody why you're doing this
Alright, I'm gonna
and why it's
recite.
applicable.
I'm gonna recite this speech, only a portion of it, because it's a very long fucking speech, so I'm only gonna do part of it. But this is the speech that JFK made May 25th, 1961, right, at the Rice Stadium, and this is his famous moon speech. But it's how this speech is applicable today just as much as it was 50 years ago, and how the presidency in America has gone from what it was back in 1961 to what it is today. And now for a lot of people, if you've followed anything I've done for the last 4 years and 5 years, whatever, and you've heard me talking about Donald Trump, I have repeatedly called the man a dickhead, because I believe he is. However, a lot of people felt that made me a left-wing person. I have said this many times, I am neither left nor am I right. I take what I like from each side and I do my own thing in the middle. Yeah, whatever is suitable to me. And today I will talk about your current president, Mr. Joe Biden, the left-wing guy, and I will also refer to him as a dickhead. So,
Which brings joy to my heart, by the way.
So, without further ado, let's have a bit of JFK. And it goes. William Bradford, speaking in 1630 of the founding of the Plymouth Bay colony, said that all great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulties, and both must be enterprised and overcome with answerable courage. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man, in his quest for knowledge and progress, is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not, and it is one of the great adventures of all time, and no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations can expect to stay behind in the race for space. Those who came before us made certain that this country rode the first waves of the industrial revolutions, the first waves of modern invention, and the first wave of nuclear power, and this generation does not intend to flounder in the backwash of the coming age of space. We mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and to the planets beyond, and we have vowed that we now shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. We have vowed that we shall not see space filled with weapons of mass destruction, but with instruments of knowledge and understanding. Yet the vows of this nation can only be fulfilled if we in this nation are first, and therefore we intend to be first. In short, our leadership in science and in industry, our hopes for peace and security, our obligations to ourselves as well as others, all require us to make this effort to solve these mysteries, to solve them for the good of all man, and to become the world's leading spacefaring nation. We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won, and they must be won and used for the progress of all people. For space science, like nuclear science and all technology, has no conscience of its own. Whether it will become a force for good or ill depends on man, and only if the United States occupies a position of preeminence can we help decide whether this new ocean will be a sea of peace or a new terrifying theater of war. I do not say that we should or will go unprotected against the hostile misuse of space any more than we go unprotected against the hostile use of land or sea, but I do say that space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made in extending his writ around this globe of ours. There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win, and the others too. And that's as far as I'm going, but yeah. That.
You guys wonder why he got assassinated, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sad that, like, somebody who spoke so much truth and held the, not just the citizens of the United States of America, but everyone's, best interest at heart.
Uh-huh.
Unless you're Marilyn Monroe, you shared him with Let's not get into that. It's a whole nother fucking thing.
Yeah, we'll let him off for that one.
Hearing something like that, for like you reading it out, you did a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
But what does that mean to you as a non-American? Like, because an American is going to tell you, like I am. You know what I mean? It's because he spoke so much truth is the reason why that he was killed.
It's fucking inspiring, mate. I think that is one of the most inspiring speeches I've heard. Like,
and there's a lot of fucking foreshadowing, is there not?
Yeah, 100%.
Like in the words that he said. I'll let you, because you brought this to my attention. I mean, I've heard it before, but I'm assuming you just caught wind of this one. Like, where did you stumble upon this?
I've known this speech a long time, but I'll tell you the reason was because of all this Joe Biden stuff. I was looking at like Joe Biden gaffes on YouTube where he's fucked up, and one of the things he said was, I remember what JFK said: we must not postpone, and we must get out of the rain. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And he's like, what is he talking about, the dickhead? He said postpone in that. Yeah, we must not postpone, or we are unwilling to postpone. Sorry. What? That is the only fucking bit. What the fuck was Joe Biden talking about? that geezer, right? And this is I don't want to get off of that and on Joe too soon. I want to apply what is in that speech. With the key part of that, for me, the key part of that speech, or a couple of parts, but one of them is that this is the space is the last chance that we have as humanity to come together as one species and work together.
That's right.
Space is for all of us. We may all have our own little countries down here, but up there, we can all be as one. You know?
That's right. That's right. You don't have to abide by the rules of set government. You don't have to do any of that. Like you're setting forth on a new frontier, right? Yeah. I'm not trying to sound like I'm watching an episode of fucking Star Trek, no. But I think it's funny. And again, like I'll reach back real quick. You said, you know, and we've had personal conversations, so I know how you feel about Trump. Yeah. But Trump instituted a fucking space force to prevent, like, you know, all the things, like we're not going to have a weaponization of space and this and that, everything, you know, that's basically what JFK was saying. Like, once we get there, we're not going to weaponize space. This is going to be something that we do together to further the human species so that we could, you know, continue to evolve, right? That's what I got from that.
Yeah.
Right? So you have, I'm going to get into American politics. Again, this is open forum, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
We don't have a format here. We're just fucking talking. So, Joe, for those who don't know, a lot of people that, you know, are familiar with you may not be familiar with American politics. Joe Biden was the vice president for Barack Obama. Barack Obama basically shut down NASA, where you could not go into space anymore. No more manned space missions. So we can't explore space anymore. Why would that be something? You know what I mean? Why would you not want to do that? We can't live on this blue ball forever.
No, we can't.
So why would you cancel space exploration? And again, I'm going back to at the earliest, 2016? During the Barack Obama administration, they basically shut down all funding to NASA. Why?
I don't know.
But it rings relevant to what we're talking about here, because you got JFK here, who, if I remember correctly, was a Democrat, but in this day and age would most likely be a Republican with his points of view.
Possibly, mate. It's changed. It's changed.
Yeah, it definitely has, which is why I worry about people like Tulsi Gabbard, who is a Democrat, but her points of view are way to the right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She believes in, you know, guns and everything.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think she was a Democrat, but she is. And she served in the military and all that stuff. And her fucking resume speaks for itself, right? But I worry about people like that now, because those are the ones that get attacked and get assassinated. Because, like you said, you speak from the middle ground, which in the United States we would call a third party. In the United States, you cannot run as a third party candidate.
No.
You have to pick a side, which I think is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%.
Like, how many fucking great leaders didn't even get an opportunity to take a podium and speak their mind? Like JFK did, that one little thing that you read, right? And there's more than that. You know what I mean? There's other fucking speeches that are fucking epic, which is why he's still, after death, regarded as, if not the greatest president we've ever had, one of the.
He's definitely up there, mate. I couldn't tell you to be sure, but he's definitely up there, isn't he? And the other part of that, though, that gets me, and I think is applicable at this day and age, but applicable in the fact that we've gone in the completely opposite direction. And that is the part where he says, we choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. And this is the important bit. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard, right? In this day and age, I feel like we are doing things because they are easy.
Correct.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. I agree 1,000%.
We used to do things because they were hard. Now we take the easy route. Now we say, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. We can't have this. With the cancel culture and the woke shit and the snowflake shit and everything else that goes on today, these new politicians, oh no, we're not going to do that. It's just going to cause too much problems, too much trouble. But that's how we got where we are today, by getting into trouble, by running across problems and going, alright, well, we can sort that out. Do you know what I mean? We know a way around that now. And I just think the world is too soft today. And I think
if you want to call it a problem, I just call it growing pains.
Yeah. Yeah,
How do you learn anything unless you fail? If you succeed all the time, you're not learning anything.
Exactly. And I don't know how they think they're going to succeed doing the things they're doing. Like, I agree with equal rights. I agree that there should be no racism and racial hatred between people.
Sure.
I agree with all this. Yes, fine. But there's a level that you stop at and go, right, now we're on a middle ground, everyone. But it ain't that way. And we'll get into that later with your Mortal Kombat thing. We'll come back to that a bit later with a Mortal Kombat thing. But yeah,
it's not as epic. Like, it kind of ties into what we're talking about, but at the lowest level. You know what I mean? It's just something for me as a fan of the entertainment business, and wanting to, something that I'm passionate about is entertaining people, via this podcast, and what other shit I do. My goal is to entertain people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it does tie into what we're talking about, so it's kind of convenient. But yeah, again, we'll leave that for last because it's the least important. But it's going to tie in.
So yeah, as far as Joe Biden goes, I feel that he is a puppet president, right? And if you would please kindly read the tweet that I put out a day or two before the election results.
I sure will. Okay, so it's the one in the middle here. That one only, or do you want me to read the whole thing?
No, just that one tweet.
Okay, so this is from November 6th, 2020. All right. That's from the Rattle the Cage podcast Twitter account. Follow us on Twitter if you don't. I guess I'll do the social media. I'm not big about the social media, but fuck you gotta plug it, right?
That's right,
Yeah. So I'm gonna plug it, man. Follow us, Rattle the Cage on Twitter.com. If you don't watch us on YouTube, you'll catch wind of us there. So let me read this thing. So this is on November 6th, 2020. All right?
Right.
So it goes, and this isn't written by me, this is written by you, correct?
Yeah, I wrote this.
Okay. Yep. So it says, who will be the next president? At the real Donald Trump or at Senator Kamala Harris with her hand up? At Joe Biden, backpack. I love it. Because I don't know if you're not from this country.
I'm not.
But you've echoed the sentiment that we had towards their campaign.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yep. It's like, Joe is the fucking name, right? He's the figurehead, right?
Yep.
You don't expect him to fucking survive. He's not going to, because obviously you see him now. He's not going to make it all the way through. This was the left, the Democrats, and I'm talking in my U.S. terms now. I apologize.
Yeah.
Right? This was their way to not only get in the first female president in United States history, but the first female president of ethnic descent.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's the perfect scheme, right? So let me read the rest of it. If Joe wins, how long before he has health complications that mean Kamala will have to take over as president? And this is coming from you, who lives in the UK.
Yeah.
And you saw this.
And I said it before Joe Biden was officially elected.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's
yeah.
it.
And it is clear, the more I see Joe Biden, that he is a puppet. And I swear, if I believed that we were that technologically advanced, that we could make replicants like they do in Blade Runner, I would swear Joe Biden is a fucking replicant. Yeah? He's he's not all that. Like, fuck. He just ain't all that.
He's gone.
Like,
His reputation was shit from the get-go, Bird. This fucking, like, before he was called Sleepy Joe, he was called Creepy Joe.
Yeah.
Because this dude would, like, fucking, like kiss little kids on the mouth, like, fucking touch them. Like, he was very Jimmy Savile-esque. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's video footage. It's not like I'm just saying this because somebody told me, you know what I mean? Or it's, like, some cool thing to hate on him. But, no. There's fucking proof of this shit.
He ain't there, mate. He ain't all there. When I hear him talk, what I hear, like, he goes, America and the people, we deserve and that's what I hear when I hear him talking.
You speaking to me right now, man. I hear it every day. Anytime the dude takes a podium, it's like, oh boy.
So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I don't know what my main point is other than Joe Biden's a dickhead. But,
well, your main point is that he's the contrary to everything that you read in that JFK speech. He's the contrary. Like, he's the opposite of it.
Yeah.
And what was the main thing that John F. Kennedy was against? Communism.
Yeah.
Communism. That's eventually what got him killed, because people inside positions of power, you know how it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was too outspoken. He told the truth. People don't like the truth, especially people in power.
No, exactly that.
And unfortunately, in the United States, those type of people that have the most skeletons in the closet, and don't get me wrong, okay? Whether they're right or left, Republican or Democrat, they all have skeletons in the closet. They are not squeaky fucking clean. No. The Kennedys, like, you just do a quick Google search of the Kennedys, any one of them, you know what I mean, John included, they all have skeletons in the closet. Yeah. But not a whole lot of them have fucking multiple murders on their fucking resume. Like the fucking Clintons and fucking... That all comes from the left. The left founded the KKK, which now in the United States is something, I guess, if you're a Republican, you're a racist, inherently. These people that say that have no fucking clue what they're talking about, because it's the left, the Democrats, people who become Democrats in the House of in the House of Representatives, in the Senate, all this stuff, all come from the left, all were Democrats. And all were KKK members. So, shit.
Yeah. Well, that's just one of them things they've...
Not all of them, I'm just saying, you know, there was a lot.
But they've attributed that to the right, because you have got the far right people, but you got the far left people as well. But they attribute the far right to everyone that is a Republican.
They do that, yeah. It's a misrepresentation.
Which goes against exactly what they're trying to do. Like, they go, oh, don't stereotype people. Well, what the fuck are they doing? That's exactly what that is stereotyping people. You know what I mean? You vote that way, if you vote that way, you must be a racist. If you vote that way, you must want unequal opportunity for women. Whatever.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's...
Right. It's not fair.
No.
It's not fair, and it kind of eliminates the purpose of having a debate or a discussion in the first place, because the majority of the time, the people that engage in these things, somebody already has a preconception of what you are. Yeah. And vice versa. So you're just going to end up fighting with each other, right? And that's what these people want. At the end of the day, this is what JFK warned us about. And he's not the first one.
No.
He's not the first one. We've been warned about these types of fucking people through the millennia. It's people they feel comfortable if they're given free shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about my country. I don't know how shit works over there. You can maybe enlighten me. But here, like, if you give people free shit, like Obama gave them Obama phones and, Obamacare is going to solve all the problems. No, Obamacare made our healthcare system shit. Like, it's terrible. It's fucking it's unaffordable, first and foremost. Unless you're rich, you're not going to get quality healthcare. You might as well move to fucking, like, you have free healthcare there, right?
Yes, we do.
People bitch about it because, it's not quality healthcare. Well, here in the States, you have to pay for healthcare regardless, right?
Yeah.
Regardless. So we're getting the same shitty fucking healthcare that you guys get, but we still have to pay for it.
Yeah, and you pay out.
So who's getting raped here? You know what I mean? The American citizen is getting raped.
Oh, yeah.
What president has changed that? Neither one on either side, Republican or Democrat. None.
No.
Trump promised that he was going to fucking repeal Obamacare. He tried, didn't work. Why? How?
I have no idea, mate. But
what?
Yeah,
if you don't have basically if you live in the United States, right? This is how it works. If you live here and you have a job, I don't know how it works for people that are disabled and all that stuff. I don't know. Okay? I'd have to research that. I'm not going to fucking put my name on record as saying anything about that situation. But if you have a job, doesn't matter where it is, right?
Yeah.
And you make a certain amount of income per year, you have to have health insurance.
Yeah.
It's forced upon you.
Yeah.
Well, what if I can't afford it? You still have to have it. And if you don't, right? When you do your tax return at the end of the year, you get penalized hundreds of dollars. So let's say for the normal person, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get a tax return of $1,000, right?
Right.
But let's say you didn't have health insurance that entire year. You're going to get a penalty. They call it a penalty.
Yeah.
That penalty will take away half of that, so you're going to get $500.
Fucking hell, man. Yeah, it's bollocks, isn't it?
Right, but if you pay the health insurance premium per month, you're actually spending more money just to have that insurance and not get taxed. So you're losing more money having the insurance rather than not having it and taking the penalty. So they're fucking you either way.
Yeah. And that's just wrong, man. It's like, you're meant to be the land of the free. That ain't fucking free.
Yes.
You have to pay to stay alive. What happens?
And that's all due to Obamacare from the left, and Joe Biden, as like I said earlier, was his vice president at that time. He's carrying on the same ideals as the person he served under now into 2021. That's all he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stupid. And it's...
We need to put a disclaimer on this video, Bert, too, as like what is it? The words and the opinions of don't necessarily, you know what I mean? You know which one?
I'll put a disclaimer on it. I'll say, if you don't like what we're saying, go fuck yourself.
They have nothing else, man. The fucking podcast is called Rattle the Cage.
Exactly that, mate.
You know what I mean? So it's not meant to make you... It's meant to make you think a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's it. You either like it or you don't. But if it rattles your cage, good. It's what we
Sure. Leave a comment. Say something.
Yes.
Whatever. If you think we're fucking stupid, please tell us. We'll talk to you.
And going back to that land of the free, right?
Mm-hmm.
This will lead us into the Mortal Kombat stuff, maybe. But the land of the free, how is it the land of the free. And I'm not saying Britain's much better. America and Britain tend to follow each other.
I agree with that.
If you guys do something, we do it. If we do something, you do it. More or less. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're at this point, like we're talking about, it's 2021 now, right?
Yeah.
Like I've known you for goddamn how long now? 5 years?
Something like
4
that,
or 5 fucking years. I've talked to you guys from overseas, and you tell me how things are going on over there, and I tell you how things are going on over here, and they're a mirror image of one another.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Like, it really, really is. So it's like, so why the fuck did we even separate from the UK in the first place?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel sometimes. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. And
why did we fucking leave? Mind you, because that's going to be an argument. Somebody with a smart brain will be like, oh, well, you're comparing yourself to someone that you weren't related to back then who traveled across the sea to escape fucking tyranny, right?
Yeah.
That's what one of these BLM members are gonna say. So how can't I can't get my reparations? Well, my counter argument to that is, well, you know what? I wasn't alive then. I didn't partake in the fucking Revolutionary War, right?
No.
I've not gotten reparations for that. I'm not getting free health care. I'm not getting anything. No. So I'm in the same fucking position as you. So what the fuck are you mad about? And I'm white and I have no privilege. Just want to throw that one out there.
Yeah.
That is the biggest pile of fucking shit that I've ever seen broadcast and made a fucking big deal of on TV. The white privilege. It does not exist. It's non-existent. Especially now. That's what we're going to get into.
In some respects, yeah, I agree with that.
A little bit. On a lighter fucking way, but good. I just got off on a little bit of a rant. Yeah. I apologize.
But no, that's it. We've gone into the exact opposite of why the British people left to go to America and found a new land. They wanted freedom. They didn't want to live in a dictatorship. Now, it's getting to be more and more like a dictatorship. All this... you know, the left-wing stuff, all the woke stuff, all the snowflake stuff, all this cancel culture, all this, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't, let's take this away, you know, because it'll offend someone. It's becoming a dictatorship, because you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say this, you can't say that. You can't have freedom of speech. And is that not written into your constitution?
It absolutely is. The key things that I'll just say it, the left go after, that they want abolished from the Constitution, is the right to bear arms, which is what every fucking communist country does before they take it over. They take away your right to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And the other one is to silence them, where they don't have, their opinion does not matter. And for me personally, I thought all this, you know, I mean, because we watch this shit on TV all the time, right?
Yeah.
And you see it, and you never really think that you're going to experience it, but I did. And I probably told this, I feel like I've told this story on the podcast, and if I haven't, well, fuck it. I think it's worth mentioning again, because it's a fucking problem. And it points towards mental fucking illness, too.
All right.
So, you know, during the election, every fucking year here in the United, every election year, it happens. You know, you got the fucking Antifa, they come out. You got the fucking BLMs, they come out. Like, this is their time to fucking cause shit. They're not going to get arrested. They're not going to get in trouble, because if they do, the media is going to make a big deal out of it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at one of these rallies. I'm dressed up like I look like I'm Antifa. Got my black hoodie on, got a mask on. Not an Antifa mask, but I got something covering my face because COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I look like a fucking Antifa guy, but I'm talking to the fucking youngins, right? And when I talked about the youngins, I'm talking about like 17, 8, like high school kids that are buying into this shit, and they have no idea why they're there. They're just there because they saw it on TV and they thought it was a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Combat the police, defund the police. They have no idea what they're fucking doing. Right?
No.
So I go there, right? And I'm there and I'm interviewing people, and I'm interviewing a Hispanic woman being very respectful. You know what I mean? We're having healthy fucking dialogue. During this conversation, a white woman with bleached, like pink, like neon pink hair.
Yeah.
Again, this is my first time ever fucking doing something like this. And I was warned to be careful, you know, because your safety is a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking there, and I'm talking to this Hispanic. Clearly, I'm a white guy. Even with the hoodie on, you could tell I'm fucking white.
Yeah.
I stand out like a sore fucking thumb. And I'm talking to her, and we're having healthy discussion. No harsh words, nothing. No arguments, no nothing. We're just talking. So this white woman, or white girl, whatever, I don't know what the fuck her age was. All right, I'm going to assume 17, 18-year-old high school student, right?
Yeah.
Just assuming. Neon pink hair. During the decides to interrupt and says to me, "That's all well and good, but your opinion doesn't matter because you're white."
Yeah.
Interrupted the entire intelligent conversation just to say that to me. And that was a cultural fucking shell shock to me.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that shit only happened on television.
No, that's the real
People
world.
actually feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was nothing offensive being done or said. I was engaging with the audience and everything was great. That one person that shared the same skin tone as me probably was whiter, if you could imagine that.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, fuck. And says that, and I looked at her, I was like, "Excuse me? What the fuck did you just say?" And she shut right the fuck up because she had no response. I didn't say anything else to her. I just looked. I'm like, "What the fuck did you say?"
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
Yeah.
It was so stupid. I couldn't,
Mate,
and it fucking enlightened me, Bert. It did. It's like, that fucking television set really does fuck up the minds of fucking people.
Mate, you think that's bad? In the UK, they pulled down a statue of the guy that, I think he was the guy that founded the Boy Scouts, right?
Okay.
And it was about because he was racist or whatever, he's got racist links or whatever, right? That every single person that was there pulling down the statue and demonstrating was white. There was not one black fucking person in that entire crowd.
Isn't that sketchy? That sounds pretty fucking sketchy, don't it?
What the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like,
He's a racist. Let's pull it down because we're white. Well, you're white. If he likes white people, why are you? It's what we call, do you use the same term, virtue signaling?
Yeah.
Like they want to be part of the cool crew?
Yeah. And that's kind of what it is, I think. And part of it is, for some reason, that white people are made to feel guilty. So therefore, a lot of these people, younger people, are taking that guilt on and saying, "Okay, well let's do something about that so we don't feel guilty anymore." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's guilt. How do you feel guilt over something that you've never done?
Exactly.
Or never been a part of? How do you feel, and at the same token, right? In the same token, how do you feel oppressed when you've never been oppressed?
Yeah.
You weren't a slave.
No.
I wasn't a slave. No Hispanic, no black person that I know that grew up here in the United States of America has ever been slaved.
No.
Not one. Not a fucking one. And that goes back 4 fucking generations.
Yeah.
Okay? Unless you're a fucking Nosferatu fucking Muhammad Hassan or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You're holding a fucking grudge, and we're gonna get shit for that one.
Mate.
So I don't know. Do with that one what you want, but but
They have no idea.
listen, man. We're 40 fucking. We're about to fuck. I'm about to be 40 in fucking a couple days.
Yeah.
I've experienced racism for being white. This is why I have a big fucking problem. Like, it's not racism if you're not white. I have a big problem with that.
Racism goes in every direction, mate.
Absolutely, my friend. Abso-fucking-lutely. But then again, the television says, well, no, it's the white person. That's like, if a white person talks down to you, he's being a racist.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. I don't know about there, but that's how it is here.
Happens here as well, mate. Happens here as well.
And that's a perfect segue into what I want to talk about.
Let me save it.
The
quickly.
least important. You know what I mean? But it just shows you how people are afraid to be themselves. Like, you can't be yourself anymore. So that's a perfect segue into what I really want to talk about here. And, it's kind of, on the lower end of the spectrum pertaining to the topic that we're talking about. But, so we talked about this a little bit, briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Where, obviously that, we're talking about media, social media, liberal media. It's called liberal media for a reason, by the way. Liberal means left.
Yeah.
Like, they run the entertainment. Like, whatever you see on TV is most likely going to, promote their agenda, which I think is fucking wrong. Like,
Yeah.
politics and entertainment should not coincide with one another, much like, what there's supposed to be a separation between church and state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your religious beliefs should have no bearing on how you elect your government officials and shit like that. But it does.
You can't be president unless you're religious, though.
Exactly. Thank you. So it's fucked, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So, long story short, here's what happened. All right, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and we were talking about the new Mortal Kombat movie coming out, right?
Yep.
Super fucking popular video game. The movies, even the shitty ones back in the day, did well. Very successful. It's gonna make money regardless, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the key staple characters of the game, you're a gamer, you know who I'm talking about.
I do.
Johnny Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Was X'd out of the movie. And the reason that was given is absolutely fucking appalling to me and just defies fucking logic altogether.
Yeah.
Because, what the Johnny Cage is an icon, one of the original characters. Like, if you go back to Mortal Kombat 1, can you name all the characters of the game? I know I can.
I can name a few of them, yeah, but I know Johnny Cage was one of the main ones.
Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Kano, Raiden. Who am I forgetting? There's six. There's only a couple left.
Was Jackson?
No, that's from Mortal Kombat 2.
So, yeah.
Liu Kang, Raiden, Sub-Zero, Scorpion.
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung is a boss. Goro is the sub-boss. Who am I forgetting? That might be Kano.
Kano, yeah.
Kano. From the original game, there wasn't many characters to pick from. I may have left one out. And if I did, I apologize. But regardless, Johnny Cage was there since day one.
Yeah.
All right? And this, me and Jesse were talking about this on Facebook. And he's of the kind of like the same mind. You're like, hey, whatever, man, but they need to stay true to the story, and they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what they're doing here, but it's all for a political reason. And I think that shit needs to stay away from the entertainment. Like, people want to be entertained to escape that shit. We don't want to fucking pay attention to the politics. Y'all motherfuckers lie and fucking screw each other over as many times as you want to. But I want to watch my fucking movie and enjoy it without being brought into the bullshit. Yeah. Am I wrong in thinking that? Because that's what it is.
No, you're right.
Like, oh well, I didn't explain the problem. Let me explain it. So Johnny Cage, one of the original characters from Mortal Kombat, was not cast in the new movie as a character because the producers and the directors of the I'm just gonna throw everybody that's involved in creating the movie in there. Fuck it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They didn't put that character in the movie because they were afraid of offending the Black Lives Matter people.
Having him as the lead character, that was, yeah?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Which he is not, anyways.
No. Liu Kang.
If you follow the lore, he is not the fucking... Like, Warner Brothers, you know how I feel about them anyways, right?
Yeah.
But with the new video games, MKX, MK11, all these things, they've kind of made Johnny Cage a big deal and his family legacy a big deal, right?
Right.
So that's in the video games, though, but not in the movies. This movie is supposed to be a reboot. All right? But Johnny Cage is a fucking important character. But because he's an important character and he's a white guy, he can no longer be in the movie. Mm. Even in the original film, the importance of Johnny Cage was he was the secondary guy to Liu Kang, right?
Yeah.
But he was able to defeat the champion of Mortal Kombat, which would be Goro, undefeated for 500 years. Nobody beat him.
Yeah.
Johnny Cage beat him. Can't give a white guy credit, though. That's the problem I have. That's racism. That's racism. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with racism as a whole. Yeah. But that's fucking blatant. And there's no fucking excuse for that. But these people get a pass for that because, oh, well, no, we don't want to offend this movement or that fucking movement. Bro, racism is fucking racism no matter where it comes from. It could come from BLM, come from Antifa, the KKK, whatever the fuck, right? Racism is evil at the end of the day. Am I wrong?
It is evil. And I will say this, right? Johnny Cage, whatever, right? This all goes into the cancel culture and that old thing of they've always said for years they wanted to make James Bond into a black guy, right? And I was like, well, James Bond's a white man, right? Now, I would be equally pissed off if they took the Candyman, Tony Todd, and they made a white Candyman. I would be equally pissed off, or whatever. I would be not pissed off, but the same thing of, no, he's always been black. Keep him fucking black. The same as James Bond. He's always been white. He's white. He's a white man. Why change him? They changed Doctor Who to a female. Doctor Who was always a man. They had a female Doctor Who.
Not a fan of the series, but I did hear about that.
I haven't got as much of a problem with that. I don't really see that being as much of a big deal. But when you're going to change the skin tone of someone just to appease some people, or you're going to take someone out, and this cancel culture, this is what's really bugging me, and it's all tied into this Mortal Kombat thing here, is just how so much of the stuff from the 80s, the 70s, you know what I mean, and going back, is being taken away, you know.
They're erasing history.
Yeah.
Like, this shit happened. Like, you may want to forget about it. It's not going anywhere. It's there.
Yeah.
Can I just throw a quick one out there too? Because mentioning Johnny Cage, there are black characters in the game that hold much stature. Jax.
Yeah.
Jackson Briggs.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't want Johnny Cage to be the male lead, right? Why don't you just make Jax the main character?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that.
Yeah. Why not?
Very simple. Nobody's gonna be offended. No one. Including us white folks. We all love Jax. I love Jax in MK2. He was one of my go-to characters with the metal arms and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Powerful.
this is how petty it gets. This is how petty it gets, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny Cage, he's a white guy. Well, yeah, but he's one of the main characters. No, can't have him in there. Let's replace him with a character that we never heard of before, named Cole. Cole? Okay. What does Cole do? Well, I don't know what he is. Like, he's definitely not fully fucking white. You know what I mean? He's not Johnny Cage white.
No.
But if I was to take a guess, like looking at his fighting style, I would say Thailand type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we could. Do you want to Google? Like, is it worth the effort? I mean, Google search it.
I'm on it right now.
Oh, you're already on it. All right. So Cole, I think his last name might be Miller. Cole Miller.
I've just put Cole Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
We've got Cole Islada.
2021.
Who's the fucking actor? Who is Cole? Louis Tan, his name is.
There you go. He's mixed. Louis.
Right.
So what?
Hang on.
Definitely Asian with the last name Tan, right?
Yeah. Definitely something in there. Right,
Louis would point towards maybe, Hispanic, but maybe he's, where the fuck does Manny Pacquiao come from? Philippines.
Well, Louis Tan is a British actor, right? So I guess he was born in Britain. It doesn't...
Fair enough.
He's half Chinese, half English. There you go.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
they went through all
anyway.
that trouble just to do that, to appease BLM. I think that's stupid and counterproductive.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that movie. Nothing. Nobody's watching Mortal Kombat to get fucking motivation to, go out into the streets and, voice their opinion on political matters.
No.
Nobody's watching Mortal Kombat for that. They're watching Mortal Kombat to see their fucking childhood brought to life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that is. But they do this, and it's becoming more and more abundant.
Yeah, and it's getting
It's called propaganda. It's propaganda. They're using entertainment as fucking propaganda, programming.
Yeah, and as we've only got
Really
5 minutes...
does get me upset.
And and that's fine. And that brings us right back to the JFK speech and what I said about how what he said 61 years ago is applicable today in reverse. Because that is what we've got to, and we've only got 5 minutes left. So let's wrap this fucker up. But, yeah, it's applicable, mate. We are, exactly like you say, it's going in reverse, and it's going too far. Or not reverse, too far in the other direction. Whatever. You know?
Same thing. No, yeah, same thing. We're not moving forward, we're moving fucking backwards.
Yeah.
And the younger generation, they don't want to listen to adults anymore. So you can't tell them shit. Because the public schooling systems and everything that they see, movies, every fucking source of entertainment outside of your own voice, if you're raising kids, they're paying more attention to that than you. Yeah. So your values, whether they be right or wrong, go right out the window. They're listening to good old fucking Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, whatever the fuck you want to call him, or whatever fucking agenda they want to push forth. That's what they're pushing forward with this shit. And it's just a goddamn shame that you can't even watch a movie or a goddamn TV show without politics being involved in it. And that's my fucking issue with it. That's the fucking thing that rattles my cage, Bert.
Sweet. It sounds good to me, brother. You bang on the money there. So, this has been the Rattle the Cage podcast. I'm Bert DeVito. This is my mate Will. And Will will be back and we'll have more to say. But everyone, go check out our previous podcasts because we've done some good ones. Especially like Sentient Earth, I liked. Legalised Cannabis was a good one. And last month's one...
Fuck the vegans.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one. Fuck
them. But go check them out because we've had a lot to say and they're good to listen to while you're driving your car, doing your housework, whatever you're doing. Just have it on in the background and listen to some real information.
And may I add, if we have the time,
Yep.
And if we have the time,
Yep.
check them out on all podcast platforms that we are available on, because this is indeed a real podcast, unlike other fucking shows I've been on. This is just a personal fucking thing I need to get out. So I gotta do. You know, this is a real podcast. We are available on podcast platforms, Podbean, SoundCloud, shit like that. You could find us there to Rattle the Cage. Find us there. Support us. We're the real fucking deal. Holyfield, unlike all these motherfuckers pretending to be podcasters on YouTube.com. Thank you.
Nice.